What's up, guys? Welcome into Good Morning Lambeau. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. Text us, 865-658-5824. Flying solo as of the minute. I'm sure the guys are still sleeping in, so they may hop in here in a second. But we got plenty of content, plenty of stuff to talk about. I know the chat's already filing in. Good to see everybody in here. We got Greg in the house. We got M. Spinney. Good morning, buddy. We got Josh Vallanningham. We got, John Capel. Good to see you, bub. Jen Wright in the house. Miss Jen's in here. Everybody straighten up, all right? Let's act civilized in here this morning with Jen in the house, all right? So as long as A-Fan, Paul Robertson, and Eric Sutherland aren't in here live, they're probably still sleeping in as well. We should be okay, Jen, so hopefully it doesn't get too out of control over there. But we're just going to kind of dive into some mini camp talk. We got several topics we can hit on, really. And I've pulled a couple of clips off the internet. One of Edgerrin Cooper's high school tape, which is really cool. We may get to that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one in here that, as far as, Packer fans that really gets into high school football. I just love the pageantry. I love the tradition. It's something that my wife and I, we're local boosters, I guess you could say, to a local high school. Got season tickets. They actually just building a new stadium in the process of it right now. And to me, there's nothing better than when August rolls around to get out there in those stands and watch a little high school football. It's everything that's right about the game of football. And it truly is America's game. And I don't know, man, pulling some of these old high school highlights of your current Packers and draft picks coming up and all that is just a lot of fun. It really is. So looks like we got Tim in the house now. Tim, you keep that cam off if you need to, buddy. You're good to go. Are you how you doing this morning? You ain't hurting, are you?
No, I'm okay. I'm just just woke up a little late, typical.
Good morning.
It's all good, man. I'm sure Jacob, he'll come filing in here in a second. But like I was telling the guys, I'm already getting kind of excited for high school football. And I know it's still roughly, 3 months away when that gets kicked off. But going back and watching some of these players, their highlight reels from high school is a lot of fun, man. Yeah, we're going to get into some mini camp talk. Since we're on the topic, why don't we go ahead and hit Edgerrin Cooper's high school highlight reel here? Is that cool with you, Tim?
Hell yeah, let's go.
I'm going to mute it because there's some music playing. Unfortunately, we don't have any cheesy high school commentary, which I absolutely love. But let's get into it here. We'll just kind of tell you guys on the pod what's going on here on the tape as we roll it here. Again, he's playing linebacker the majority of the time. You'll see him rush the passer some too. There's a pick six. Awesome stuff right there, man. Taking it to the house. Let's see what else we got here. Here we go. Come up. A little scoop and score for you right here, Tim. Hopefully we see that at Lambeau this year, right?
Oh, yeah. You can just see, too, you look at tape like this and, clearly you see who's standing out here on the field with all these guys.
Absolutely. Especially right here, just shooting his shot right through the gap. We talk about that start-stop shoot that he did in college right here, just getting to the ball carrier. That's about a 5-yard loss. That's all.
The coaches were screaming.
Right.
How do you leave him unblocked?
Here he is in the middle of the field kind of playing mock. Watch this backside pursuit here. Just chasing the play, bang.
Bang.
That's such a hit, dude, at the high school level. Let's see if we can get a couple loops on that. Poor kid. You can see, too, he looks so much bigger, so much faster than everybody on the field, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's obvious who the future pro was here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for us to go back and look knowing what we know, but, I mean, the tape doesn't lie. Look at that. Oh, wow. Great instincts there.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's grab it again here. Just hopefully we see that, too, dropping in that little hook coverage right across the middle. Bang. Yep. Trying to hurdle a offensive player. You love it. Look at that, man. Just the burst. Backside. He screams will, man. He really does.
Yep. That's why I think there's a chance Quay is the Mike. We'll see, but
I agree. And again, the depth chart I think has McDuffie listed as the Mike right now, but you're going to be in that nickel set. I have a hard time believing McDuffie's going to play over Edgerrin Cooper, but who knows, man? Maybe they do let him kind of ease his way into the lineup. But here, just instincts here. Watching the ball, great diving catch. Yeah. He's a lot of fun to watch, man.
Man. Did you see that tackle try to block him?
That tackle wanted none of it. He did not want that smoke. Look at the head. Poor kid, man. I bet there were some parents asking to check his birth certificate. I guarantee.
Yeah, right. Why is there a 23-year-old playing high school ball?
Look at this right here, man.
Oh man,
swat and swim. Yeah, a little swat and swim. You got it. Swat, swim. Look at him reset too. He knew the quarterback was going to try to bounce out.
Boy, I tell you, Clayton, is there a high school team in America that doesn't rip off the NFL logos?
Oh my God!
Look at that. I know they're not playing in Denver, right?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of a tradition for sure. Some of them go with the college approach, like we seen with Javon Bullard last night. You know, his team was called the Braves, but the other team was, I think they were called the Seminoles or something. But they have Florida State's pretty much.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It looked like they were playing against FSU. I love it.
Yeah, the high school that I grew up, and went to, was called Cumberland High School before they consolidated to Harlan County High, and we were called the Cumberland Redskins. No one get offended. That's what we were called, and our uniforms was basically Florida State uniforms, and they had the arrowhead on the side, right?
Right.
And our fight song was basically Notre Dame's fight song, but we would get the whole tomahawk chop going and everything. And I remember when I was in school, people kind of brung it to everyone's attention that, hey, that name isn't politically correct. And it's funny. I remember most people in the school going, shut up. Like, no, we don't care. Like faculty, everyone, right? We ended up changing our baseball team to the Batskins. I was just like, geez, could we not wait one more year till I get out of here? And keep in mind, I got Cherokee.
Where's that? Hold on, here. We need. There you go.
It's crazy because, like, I was excited about playing for the Redskins because I've got Cherokee in my family. You know, my great grandmother was like half Cherokee, so I was excited about that. I was just like, heck yeah, man, this is kind of my heritage and this and that. And then a bunch of old white people said it was politically incorrect. And I'm going, what the hell? What are we?
That's why that's like what's going on now in Washington. There's Native American group that's trying to get the Redskins to be the Redskins again. I don't know if you saw that. I got to see if I can pull that article. But they're not happy with the name change of the team.
I love how Pat McAfee approached it too when they changed them to the Commanders. I love how they immediately started calling them the commies. And said it's so fitting for them being a team that's supposed to represent Washington, D.C.
Right.
So anyway, let's get off that topic here. So yeah, Batskins. M. Smitty said Batskins. LMAO. At least it's better than being called the Bat Wings. Yeah, I get it. And again, the baseball team was the only one that changed. Everyone else just stayed the same.
Right.
So yeah, there you go. There's your political correctness talk for the day. But we had minicamp obviously kicking off. We got day 2 in the books yesterday. Got a quick little pump-up video here from Packers.com. For those of you on the pod, you're just going to hear a little music. It only lasts about a minute, but we're going to play it here for everybody watching on YouTube. Then we'll get into kind of what we seen, what we learned. Paul Bretto did an excellent job breaking down in an article some of the things from 2 days of camp that he's kind of taken away from mini camp here, with the rookie mini camp, I should say. So here we go. Here's a little mini camp pump-up video from Packers.com. Man, I'll tell you, Tim, there's nothing like that Green Bay sunshine, man. Out there.
It's one of the many reasons I moved here, man.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful place, man. I just love everything about it. I'm going to end up there. There's no doubt about it. We've come this close to buying property up there multiple times, and it's going to happen. That's probably where I'll end up retiring, I would imagine. So love that place, man. Love it. And it's awesome because, you hear about how brutal the winters are, and obviously you've experienced it firsthand. But, man, in the summertime, it gets hot. It gets humid up there too, just like anywhere else, man, right there on the lake. And, and the springtime just looks gorgeous. I've never been up there for the springtime, so I'm really, really excited about getting to experience that next year for the draft when we go up for that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'll roll out the red carpet for you. We'll take care of you, man. We'll have a blast for sure. Fall's awesome up here too, man. I don't have to tell you that. I love, that's probably my favorite season, but not just because I'm a fall baby. I'm an October birthday, so
yeah. We try to go up. We've tried to experience every month of the football season. So the first time we went up, we went in September, the second time October, the third time November. And I've really fell in love with going up in December and a couple of weeks before Christmas and hitting some of the Christmas villages and stuff.
Yeah.
Just really cool. We had snow flying while we were at the Christmas village last year. And that area, it's on the west bank of the Fox River, kind of close to the downtown area, right? So there was like it just kind of felt like the old town or something, you know what I mean? And they had a little alley set up with fires burning and all kinds of crafts and just all the food you could freaking handle. It was just unbelievable, man. So really cool way to take into Christmas season for sure. Let's see here. We had Rob Domofsky actually send out a video too, and I'm gonna mute it in case there is sound here. This is just a quick little cut up of Marshawn Lloyd. A lot of people are talking about Marshawn Lloyd, that he's explosive. I know Andy Herman, he used the term juiced. Like he kind of brings the juice. Seems like he's going to be one of those guys. He sounds like a leader from day one. But let's go ahead and hit this real quick. We'll keep it muted, but just a little cut up, like I said, from Rob Domofsky on Twitter. He looks thick, Tim. He looks healthy, don't he, man?
Yeah, man. Great feet too. Looks real light on his toes. Just, good movement. I mean, we're looking at basic, stop and start drills and whatever, but he does look really good carrying the ball there.
Yeah, to me, he looks like a very, very similar build to Josh Jacobs. So maybe I'm way off base there. I haven't looked at the measurables. But to me, that's what he looks like. He looks kind of like right here. That looks like Josh Jacobs. If you put a number 8 on him, I'd think that's Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I think they're going for that similar build. I think you are going to see more inside run. When we do Chalk Talk, probably do that tomorrow or the next day. When we do that on Marshawn Lloyd, a large majority of the big plays on his Chalk Talk segment is what we call GT power, which is guard tackle power, where the guard and the tackle are pulling in unison. And sometimes the tackle would fade off and seal the backside. So they ran a whole lot of power. Maybe Matt LaFleur breaks a little power out this year. Now we've ran all different types of run, obviously, but the Shanahan system, obviously Kyle's dad, Mike Shanahan created that. He took that Alex Gibbs wide zone run and married it up with a little West Coast offense from Bill Walsh's tree, and that's how they come up with the wide zone boot scheme. So you don't want them to deviate from that too much. I want to see some inside zone and some duo for sure. You get to where you're pounding the rock inside the tackles and you make those linebackers and those safeties snug up just a little bit tighter. You watch Jordan Love play action over the top, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So now you've got potentially a two-headed monster. A.J. Dillon's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I mean, when you're looking at potentially having A.J. Dillon as your third best running back, now you're cooking. Now you're getting somewhere, man. So I'm excited to see how they all gel together and how this running game kind of comes together this coming fall for sure. Let's see what else we had here. We had a couple of things. This was kind of a neat topic. Jacob sent this over to me as he's laying in his race car bed this morning. I don't know. He's probably got a pickup truck bed, don't he, Tim? You think?
Yeah.
He's got an old 1993 F-250 pickup truck bed.
Dually for sure. It's got to be a dually.
And I imagine it's actually a truck with just a mattress in the back of it. You know what I'm saying?
Up on blocks. He's got it on blocks.
Exactly. Rob Domofsky tweeted this out. He said, already can see one thing different under new strength and conditioning coordinator Aaron Hill, an extensive 20-minute stretch period to start practice, considerably longer than in the past. So if this carries over from rookie minicamp into regular minicamp and training camp as well, sounds like they're going to put way more emphasis on stretching on the front side of practice. And I think maybe that could be huge, Tim, when it comes to the hammies, man. Obviously the hammies have been an issue dating back forever, man. It really has.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, every team deals with injuries, but it has seemed like, the hamstring pull or strain it's just happened way too much to way too many guys on this team the past few years. So, yeah, you have to look at strength and conditioning, right? That's clearly why the Packers made a change. So we should be seeing this. We should be seeing different things, different approach. That's why you make a change. These guys, I mean, look at the Super Bowl. What did we see happen with what's
Greenlaw?
Dre Greenlaw. Yeah. I mean, now I don't know if that's can be attributed to lack of, stretching or whatever, but things can happen on a football field without contact. And if you're in the best shape you can be as far as, being, stretched out and conditioned properly prior to your activity, man, you're going to have a better shot at, not pulling something. So, yeah, man, hopefully it's the end of the hamstring debacle here in Titletown for sure.
Yeah. Pause in the chat said, why wasn't extended stretching already a thing? Seems obvious. We are the hammy capital of the NFL. Pause, I agree. Like when I first read that, I'm like, this was the aha. Whoa. Hey, how about we try this, guys? How about we spend more time stretching? And maybe it isn't that simple, but that was definitely my initial response and thought too. Boz was like, how is this not already? Why did it take us this long to think about it? And, like AFAM says, it comes down to body types, right? So, everybody's different. And hopefully, like we said, Christian Watson, first and foremost, if that dude stays healthy and he's on the field, could you imagine what Jordan Love's going to be able to do?
Oh, man.
Christian Watson, a full season stretching the field. And then you got Wicks and Reed working underneath. You got Dobbs as that go-to, the single up, put him on the boundary X and just throw him those jump balls, throw him those back shoulder fades. He's definitely got more continuity, more chemistry, I should say, with Jordan Love than anyone, I believe. So, I'm excited about seeing that. But, yeah, a healthy Christian Watson could take this team from a top 10 offense to a top 5 offense.
Especially with the power run like you were just talking about. Like if we mix in some power run on this offense and you can kind of lull a defense to sleep, running the ball a little bit, and then you break out these play actions and this, the staples of Matt LaFleur's offense, it's going to be really tough to defend the Packers, especially when, we haven't even talked about our tight ends. We got tight ends that are pass catchers and targets too.
Right.
It can wreak havoc on NFL defenses. So I'm really looking forward to this season. But yeah, Scoot is the man, dude. I've always felt that, the hammy issues are just the kid's wheels are just so fast that he just runs right out of his body sometimes, man. And I can see those calves and hamstrings getting more strained because the guy's just so doggone fast down the field. It's almost like he's outrunning his own legs sometimes. So, hopefully some of the new training and new work that he's done this offseason going into mini camp and OTAs coming up here and training camp, hopefully that'll solve this. And because you're right, man, we're a better football team when he's healthy and he's on the field stretching that field. Things just open up.
Yeah. And you briefly mentioned the tight ends there. And I know I've joked a lot about 11 personnel. I'd like for them to stay in 11 as much as possible because I feel like the receiving core is way more equipped than the tight end room right now. And that's saying a lot because, these two rookie tight ends, obviously this is their second year with Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. They really kind of put on a show last year, man. And the thing that if someone were to ask me, describe how the two rookie tight ends played last year, I would say they kind of clawed and fought to fit in, to try to make it work. And you heard the stories all the way back to training camp and in the preseason where Matt LaFleur was talking about leaving the facility and Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft were still in there studying the playbook, right? Because tight end is one of those things. The tight end is so involved. Every position's involved with both the run and the pass, but the tight end position is a whole different level, man. But those sift blocks that Matt LaFleur likes to run out of that, that little split flow look, split zone, whatever you want to call it. That stuff, has got to marry up with the play action. You've seen the dragon wheel in Dallas, the big touchdown there to Luke Musgrave, right? Little things like that, the technique of selling the block, leaking out, not only running the shallow cross, getting your head around to get the safety to bite, but run the wheel route on the backside of the play. All those things. When you look at the tight end room and what they did last year, what I would like to see happen, and again, the goal is if you're going to go 12 personnel, the last thing you want to do is take two I don't want to say mediocre, but, average run blocking tight ends because they're still young and learning how to do that. You don't want to take them up and just line them up in 12 against someone's base and smack your head against the wall. What I would like to see them do is show multiple looks where you've got Luke Musgrave flexed out. Put him on the boundary. Let him play receiver and put that on film for teams. Maybe you do it in mop-up time. Maybe you do it, in the preseason early to try to give coaching staffs a little bit something extra to think about. And the reason I say that is when you show a tight end playing boundary X or just putting out whether you put him in a flex slot position. Now defensive coordinators, when they watch the tape and they're prepping, they're going to look at the last 2 head-to-head matchups, obviously, with that specific team. They're also going to look at the last 4 games saturation of the tape. And when you see, okay, guys, look, when 88's on the field, he's going to be playing receiver. We got to make a decision. Do we want to treat him as a wide receiver? Or do we want to treat him as a tight end? If you burn him a couple of times by flexing him out and he's got a backer on him and you can utilize his size, his speed, his athleticism, now what happens is they may go to a big nickel. They may go to, hey, let's take a linebacker off the field or let's take a cornerback off the field and put a safety on there. And you start to mix and match with that flexed out Y. It's going to create problems because now guess what happens? Now you come out and you show the same 12 personnel, but they're treating it like 11 because 88 has been flexed out so much. Now you kick them into a condensed set, show some nasty splits, do a little double wing look, and pound the rock between the tackles, right? Yeah. There's ways that you can play off of that. That's really exciting to me. So it's all going to come down to what kind of step do they take. And I could be wrong here. And if you guys disagree, let me know. I kind of feel like what I seen on tape last year was Tucker Kraft is the better blocking tight end and Luke Musgrave is the better receiving tight end. Although Tucker Kraft didn't drop a pass till that final game of the season, in the playoffs, which, obviously wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like it decided the game, but that's just kind of how it feels. I feel like Tucker Kraft is a better blocker. It's funny as I'm saying that though, Tim, I'm saying, okay, Tucker Kraft's a better blocker, Luke Musgrave's a better receiver. And then I immediately had to say, well, Tucker Kraft didn't drop any passes. So it's like, the answer kind of feels like Tucker Kraft might be the better tight end, but
it's so hard to try and figure that out though when you look at these two guys because they're both just so good. But you're right, Young. Year 2 is going to be a fun ride as they grow. But yeah, man, nothing like seeing Tuck Norris laying somebody out there with the block. So I'm all for it.
I think AFAM hit it here. He said, I think he's referring to Luke Musgrave. You correct me if I'm wrong, AFAM. He says, better route runner, not a better receiver. I think that's really, really accurate. He is a much better route runner, but maybe not as good of a receiver as Tucker. I could see that. So, yeah. And again, this isn't to knock anyone. It's just you gotta figure out what people do really, really well and put them in a position, right? Put them in a position to succeed for sure. Jen Wright agrees. She said, yes, Tim. So, all right, let's move along here. Let's go to Paul Brettle's article. This was really cool, man. He did a quick write-up. I'm going to kill my cam so you guys don't see me staring up my nose holes here.
Squinting at the screen.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll try not to get too close to the mic, too. I'm trying to get better about the sound quality. And we may order new mics to get the quality a little better. I just one thing I hate about working on a new project, whether you treat it like a business or a hobby, I hate change, Tim. I absolutely hate it, man.
I'm with you.
Old-fashioned. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing. But anyway, here's some quick hits from Paul Brettle on the rookie mini camp so far. I'll just take it one bullet at a time. We'll get your take on it, Tim. And if you ain't got nothing, we'll just keep it moving. The first bullet point here is, as the Packers were going through warm-ups under new strength and conditioning coach Aaron Hill, the skill position players were going through different stretches than the bigger players. Warm-up also lasted for 20 minutes, which was longer than training camp last summer. We kind of hit on that. One thing we didn't touch on was it sounds like they're breaking up some of the bigger players with some of the smaller skill players. So that's cool that they're being a little more specific, a little more targeted when it comes to what they're trying to do there. So we'll move on to the next bullet point. It says, it took less than a minute of watching the inside linebacker drills to see the energy that new linebacker coach Anthony Campanile brings to the team. Throughout this offseason, you can tell that having more juice from the defensive coaching staff is something LaFleur emphasized as he helped put that group together, including the hiring of Jeff Hafley. So you're already seeing it show up to people like Paul Brettle with new linebacker coach Anthony Campanile that came up from the Miami Dolphins. About said Minnesota Vikings, man. Came up from the Miami Dolphins there as linebacker coach, man. I'm really excited to see what Anthony Campanile does with this linebacking crew. And what's cool is Edgerrin Cooper doesn't have to unteach anything with Edgerrin Cooper. That's a big problem, man. When you're trying to get the most out of someone or a system, whatever it may be. If you have to unlearn people, and I know that's not a word, guys, we always laugh about it and use it in business. If you have to unlearn people, like, hey, pretend like you're a kid again. Let's start from square one. All right. Forget all those bad habits. Forget everything up to this point. The fact that you got Edgerrin Cooper coming in and he's just going to be a clean slate, this ball of clay, right? To use that term that people use so many times with young inexperienced football players. I think he's really, the sky's the limit, man. Anthony Campanelli could take Edgerrin Cooper and turn him into something special. He's got all the physical ability. We've seen he had it when he was 16 years old, and we just seen that on the tape.
Yep.
So how do you feel about Anthony Campanelli bringing that juice that they're talking about?
Oh, man, dude. We were so excited when we got that announcement. I remember doing the pod with the boys, and we just had a blast, man. That guy is a how can I put this? He's a player's coach, and I mean that I don't mean that in an endearing, he's buddy with all the players. He's a player's coach in the sense that he's going to pull every last drop of talent out of his guys, and he's going to motivate them to do what they do best. And I just think Edgerrin Cooper, should be extremely excited to be a Packer, as he is, very well should be, because this linebacker group, man, I think we're going to see something special this year, and that's something we've been waiting on a long time. So I'm just happy that Coach Camp is here, man, and it's going to be great. We've been begging for intensity. We've been begging for a little fire and brimstone from this defense, and we're going to get it this year for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, next bullet point here from Paul Brettel says, as already mentioned, Jordan Morgan was at left tackle. Next to him was undrafted rookie Donovan Jennings, and then Jacob Monk at center. You can really see Morgan's initial burst and quick feet in space. So he's starting to impress with the quickness, and you could see it. He looks like a really, really slim offensive lineman, but when you look at how much he actually weighs, he's a hoss cat, man. He's just one of those guys. He's a freaking athlete at left tackle. I think it's going to be something, Tim, where he's going to do his best to win that left tackle spot. And if it does work out, then, hey, you got one of the best backup left tackles in the game in Rasheed Walker. Some would, really went to bat for him last year, saying, hey, this is a solid starting quality left tackle. You guys know I wasn't as big on him simply from the run blocking. Doesn't mean I don't like him. And I think we're in a much better situation with Rasheed Walker at left tackle than, arguably, 3/4 of the NFL, to be honest with you. It's just when you looked at the run blocking, and then of course we go out and draft Jordan Morgan and look at what he did in college at run blocking. It's literally one of his strengths. He's got that versatility, that athletic ability to kind of get out there and pull and do some of those things, whether you're going duo and getting to the next level, or you do want to do, here's the other thing. What did we just do? We just drafted Marshawn Lloyd. You've got the signing of Josh Jacobs. Guys, I told you on Marshawn Lloyd's college tape, there's a ton of GT power, right? And then you go out and draft Jordan Morgan at left tackle. Kind of feels like, hey, maybe they are going to have the tackle pull him a little bit more, right? So that might be part of the plan there as well. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Rasheed Walker beats Jordan Morgan for the left tackle spot. If he does, then that means Rasheed Walker's gotten significantly better in the offseason, and we're going to be that much deeper and that much stronger at the tackle position. What do you think, Tim? And again, mentioned too there, rookie Donovan Jennings and then Jacob Monk at center. It sounds like they were going from left to right there. They had Donovan Jennings, rookie offensive lineman at left guard, and Jacob Monk already getting some snaps at center there.
Yeah, man, this is I'm a defensive guy all day, but I'm about as excited for offensive line as I've ever been in my life this year. If these guys can get it done, start moving bodies, man, start dictating a little more at that line of scrimmage, it's going to be fun to watch, especially with, like you said, these running backs that we have. I agree with the statement about Rasheed Walker. I mean, we have to remember, the last couple of years have been a little different. But we had basically perfection at left tackle for the better part of a decade with Mr. Bakhtiari. and that's not easy to replace. So the approach that they're taking is solidifying that line as a whole is what it looks like. Like you said, they kind of went, left to right here and just kind of got some new pieces. And yeah, we're going to find out real quick who the center is going to be. I think it's obviously Josh's job to lose, but we'll see. But left tackle, man, we definitely improved. And I'm with you. I think Rasheed Walker is he's almost like I would compare him to, like we were talking about Zay McDuffie on defense, where it's like, is he a bona fide starter? Well, not necessarily. He's a hell of a backup, but man, if he had to start for you, you're not concerned at all. You feel really good about that. I think that's kind of like Rasheed Walker right now. He's a guy that if he wins the starting job, great, good for him. He deserves it. And I'm sure he'll do just fine. Hopefully take another step this year. But if he does get beat out and, he's, a notch down on that depth chart, that's not a bad thing either, because, he's capable as a starter and he's going to be a heck of a rotational guy. So, and who knows, they may move him too. We talked about the versatility of these players. We can speculate all we want. I don't think we know where these guys are going to be, other than maybe Jenkins, and even he could get moved. So it's going to be fun these next couple of months, man, seeing this team come together.
Definitely. Prince in the chat says Jacobs/Lloyd excelling at the same play is a key. One goes down, you don't want to have to make scheme changes in a running game like last year. It's so true. And maybe that's why they shifted to this more of a balance back as opposed to, kind of a scat back. And I know that Aaron Jones ran with power, don't get me wrong. And I know the plan was to bring Aaron Jones back at the right price. But it does kind of feel like once that decision was made to move on from Aaron Jones, they kind of pressed into this balanced approach. That's really what it feels like there, Prince. But they may be kind of on that path that you're talking about. Let's see here. Jen Wright in the chat said Andy Herman said that both Hopper and Williams were standouts yesterday. So obviously talking about Tyron Hopper, inside linebacker, and of course Evan Williams, the new safety from Oregon. Coach Wynn said, looking at the clips of Morgan, I totally get the pick now. He's an athlete. Completely agree. It's like it happens all the time too. Like as soon as the draft pick happens, that one we didn't find ourselves going who on that one, right? He was the second best tackle on my big board. And again, when you get when you get players that are kind of within 3 picks of each other, it's one of those what we call cluster busters, where you go, okay, here's the top 3 at that position. That's the position we're going to take right here. They're in the top tier of talent, so we're not technically reaching, because of position of need. But you're kind of looking at it like, okay, now of these 3, which one of these 3 do exactly what we want? Who's got the measurables? Who's got the athletic ability to do what we want for the position we project them to play, which in this case may indeed be left tackle for Jordan Morgan. You see it. It's all over the tape. You can look back now at Jordan Morgan and go, yep, that makes all the sense in the world. So I completely agree with you there, Coach. AFAM in the chat said, at the end of the day, I want Rasheed Walker on my team. Amen.
So true.
If Jordan Morgan, whoever wins that job, this is what's so cool. Whoever wins that job at left tackle, the most important position on the offensive line, in my opinion, the second most important position on the offensive side of the ball is left tackle, that blind side, covering, protecting the blind side of the quarterback. And we like to run left a lot too, so it's important there too. If we go into the season, whether it's Rasheed Walker or Jordan Morgan that wins that job, we know injuries are going to occur. If someone gets banged up and has to miss a game or two, how cool is it you got that insurance of whether it's Rasheed Walker coming in to fill in for Jordan Morgan or Jordan Morgan to come in and fill in for Rasheed Walker, man. It's absolutely huge. So I agree, AFM. Yep. Definitely want Walker on the team, man.
It's clutch, right? You don't want to have to rework your whole O-line because you got one injury. We've seen that multiple times where, you've got to move your right guard, you got to move your right tackle, you got to switch, we're playing musical chairs because we lost one guy and we're trying to find somebody to cover that position. I mean, Rasheed Walker gives us the ability to not have to do that. I think we're definitely deeper on our O-line now.
Yeah. Chris Ian says Monk has got to fill in at starting center or right guard. I'm trying to curb the enthusiasm, Chris, because I feel like what I'm hearing is he's really impressing. And listen, we're 2 practices in the rookie minicamp. I got to check myself all the time. I'm going, Clayton, shut the hell up, man. It's 2 practices. But just hearing people talk about Jacob Monk, and we played the interview and seeing how intelligent he is, and just he looks like a physical freaking beast. I think he's 6'3" if the measurables were correct on PFF. It's one of those dudes that, if he does come in and he fills in at right guard right away, and it's a significant improvement over Sean Ryan and some, last year, of course, John Runyon Jr., this offense is going to take another step forward, man. And I think you're going to see the running game really come alive, or it could at least continue with the success they showed there over the last 2 or 3 games of the season with Aaron Jones just absolutely going crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how the offensive line shapes. So I love how nerdy we are about football in here. I say we, meaning the listeners too. We can sit here and talk O-line for 30 minutes. It's hilarious. Most people, they just want to talk about who's the next receiver we're going to trade for. We're going to, the big name players, right? I love we're in here talking about 4th and 5th round picks on the interior offensive line, 2, practices in the rookie minicamp. It's awesome. Let's move on to the next bullet point here from our friend Paul Brettel, who's going to be on the show here real soon. He is slammed right now. We're going to get him in here and get his take on everything really, really soon.
Nice.
He said after the draft, Gutekunst talked about Pratt's, quote, big arm, and even on easy throws over the middle, you could see the zip he was putting on the ball. It was also noticeable that he was going through his progression. So Goody out there, a little name drop for Michael Pratt, obviously the quarterback out of Tulane. This is what I love about roster construction, especially the early stage of the process, Tim. We're going to have preseason around the corner here real soon. Like, it's May. We're going to have preseason. We're going to be talking training camp in right at about 2 months. And then in 3 months, obviously, we're going to be dead into preseason. And what's cool about preseason, we don't want Jordan Love out there too much, right? We don't want to risk injury. But the fact that we get to watch Michael Pratt and Sean Clifford battle for this backup job, you know how much fun that's going to be? And that's 2 gamers, man, 2 class acts, hardworking backup quarterbacks. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that unfold, man.
I can't wait to see those guys throw into some of my favorite receivers that we have, kind of the guys that are, bottom of the depth chart or bottom of the list guys. It'll be cool, see my boy Malik Heath out there. And I tell you, man, a player I've got my eye on is Grant DeBose. This could be an interesting scenario for us. We may have yet another young talent in the wide receiver room for guys like Clifford and Michael Pratt to throw the ball to. So yeah, preseason, man, is going to be fun. I can't wait. And you're right. I hope Jay Money plays 1 series and
right.
Sits down and holds the tablet the rest of the game.
Throws a 65-yard bomb for a touchdown and just rides the pond the rest of the preseason. Yep. That's what I want to see. Definitely. Oh, man. Let's see. AFAM asked, when do schedules come out? They're going to be coming out, to the best of my knowledge. I think it got confirmed Thursday, AFAM. So this Thursday, the schedules will drop. We'll be doing a special live show, obviously, that evening as the schedules drop, too. We're going to try to schedule the pod to where we get that information. You know how it leaks out earlier in the day sometimes too, but I know they do a big spectacle on NFL Network, but we'll definitely make sure that we get initial reaction to it, and then we get to start diving into some of the opponents. That's something else, Tim. We thought we were going to struggle to have content this offseason, man. I think we're going to run out of time for all the content I'd like to create, to be honest with you, man, because we could deep dive some of these opponents as well, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see here. AFAM says these lines are going to be these Lions games are going to be dogfights. Completely agree, man. They've got that team built the right way. They're built from the interior out. There's no doubt about that. Now, the beautiful thing about the NFL and the parity that it creates, the way everything's structured, they just went and paid Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I'm not suggesting he wasn't worth it, but that starts the hen room a little bit, right? I think didn't they pay their left tackle too? They paid Penei Sewell, whether he's left or right tackle. I think they paid him as well. I think they came in the league together, which they crushed that draft. Got to tip your cap. But that stuff's going to start to catch up with teams, Tim. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. They got to pay Hutchinson too pretty soon, right?
Yep. That'll be right around the corner. They'll probably get 2 more years on that rookie contract, and then they'll have to get that deal done so they can avoid the now they'll probably pick up the 5th-year option which will still be significant. But him being, a top 3 pick, that's not a really, really cheap contract there. That's the thing about some of these guys we've hit on here in the second, third, fourth, and in some cases fifth round. Those are such cheap contracts; they might as well be a minimum. So that's how we're the youngest and the cheapest team in the league at certain positions, right? Especially on the offensive side of the ball. Now that they signed Josh Jacobs, that's changed a lot. But last year it was one of those things where, man, we had one of the cheaper starting quarterbacks in the league in Jordan Love as far as cap hit goes. We had the cheapest wide receiver room. It's just a really cool luxury that Goody's created for sure. Doug Pointer says, Mike Wall seems to think Monk could be a great center with a little time. That would be excellent, man. Let him get get a play at right guard this year. I think Josh Myers is probably still, unless Jacob Monk comes out here and just absolutely dominates Josh Myers in training camp at center, you kind of lean on Josh Myers for one more year. You plug and play someone like a Jacob Monk or whoever it may be at right guard. And maybe here's the thing too, man. I seen somebody in the chat said, I think it was right here actually, Coach Lynn said, Morgan left tackle, Rasheed Walker right tackle, Tom at center. If you can convince me, if you can guarantee me, Rasheed Walker will be just as good at right tackle as he was left tackle last year, sign me up for that, Tim. You kidding me?
Yeah. And that would be the only scenario I would agree with, moving Zach Tom off of that spot. Yeah. And it's tough because I know what Coach Len is saying. Zach Tom can play anywhere on that line, anywhere, any position, any side. He can do it and do it well. But I feel like right tackle is just like, I don't know. I think that we've talked about this with Elton Jenkins, that he prefers left guard. That's where he likes to play. Elton Jenkins can play in multiple spots on the line, but he prefers left guard. Well, if, Zach Tom prefers right tackle and he's really, really good at it, other than a scenario where, Rasheed Walker is a monster on the right side, they try it and it works. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm open to moving Zach Tom around a little bit, but we'll have to see. That's a good problem to have though, like you're saying, Clayton.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's hilarious, man. That bullet point was about Michael Pratt's big arm, and we're back on offensive line. All right, A-Fam in the chat said, Tim, we can't keep 8 wide receivers, LOL. Why not? Can we keep 7.5, A-Fam?
Oh, man. I would love to, and we'll just run 5 wide all day long on them. Let's go.
Right. All right, next bullet point. We'll see if we can get through this. We're at the 42-minute mark. A name to watch this summer is Henry Pearson, who is listed as a fullback after spending most of the 2023 on the practice squad, but he is a prime candidate to fill the Josiah DeGuara H-back role. He had a few catches during 7-on-7, so Henry Pearson getting a real strong look there at fullback, and you need that H-back effect on your offense. There's no doubt about that. I think Josiah DeGuara, I think we would all agree, very underwhelming in that regard. Stand-up guy, class act, leader in the locker room. You heard Tucker Kraft rave over him and how he kind of helps him in his walk with his Christian faith. And Josiah DeGuara is just one of those quiet leaders, I believe, that he's a good locker room dude. I'm glad he got a little bit of money there to go. Where was it? Jacksonville, I believe. But for whatever reason, it just didn't pan out on the field. So Henry Pearson getting a really strong look there at fullback. We'll see if he actually makes the roster. That's going to be a lot of fun to see how that unfolds. Let's see here. Next bullet point. Right away, we saw the versatility of Javon Bullard and Evan Williams. Both had opportunities as the deep safety, while Bullard took some slot snaps. Here we go, Tim. Williams handled some box duties as well. So you're already seeing Javon Bullard slot. Keyshawn Nixon, man. Yeah, we don't even have to have Ola Home Depot to get the music going. So anytime we talk safeties, it's Home Depot. But yeah, Javon Bullard in the slot, man, is that excites me. And again, it's going to raise the level of competition from Keyshawn Nixon. That's the big thing too, So the thought of Javon Bullard taking nickel slot snaps and then jumping back to safety when you're in your base, that's probably the way they may go here, man. But Keyshawn Nixon, don't write him off, right? So last one here as far as safety, it says, and speaking of the safety position, you could already see Hafley's stamp on this defense with quite a few single high looks. So you're already seeing it. We talked about it all last year. We showed pre-snap shell coverage, right? two safeties on the shelf, showing two deep, but they would rotate down to single high coverage. I think it was 10th most in the league or somewhere in the top 10 as far as percentage goes. You're already seeing with Hafley, when they say they're going to play fast, that doesn't mean they're going to blitz and they're going to bring all these exotic blitzes and they're going to bring all this pressure and it's just going to be aggressive. I told you guys this, I guess it was 2 or 3 months ago when they hired Hafley and we heard the initial press conference. I think what he means is gone are the days of sugaring two safeties high. We're just going to get into our set early. Now, it takes the illusion of complexity out of the picture for the quarterback. They don't have to read as much pre-snap, or post-snap, I should say, where you're going to have a lot of late rotating. It's probably going to be hey, let's line up, let's play fast. And you're already seeing it here. Paul Brittle talking about them showing a lot of single high looks. So that's a very interesting nugget there as well. Next bullet point, Marshawn Lloyd very much looks the part in a locker room full of NFL athletes. He stands out on the field when going through drills. His burst was really impressive. So Marshawn Lloyd, again, that's going to be our next Chalk Talk episode. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. You guys are going to love it. And then the last one here, drop this banner down real quick. Ketan Oladapo was in a walking boot after having surgery a few weeks ago on a broken toe that he suffered while going through position drills at the NFL Combine. He expects to be back on the field for training camp, but in the meantime, we'll really have to emphasize the importance of mental reps to stay as caught up with everyone as he can. So this happens every year. You get these players that come in, Tim, and they, 1 or 2 of them would get hurt, some cases more than that, and it really puts them kind of behind the 8 ball, and with Oladapo, if he can keep his nose in the playbook and not lose anything mentally and be ready to go the second he's available to step on the field, it's going to be huge. But the fact that he's going to be competing with Evan Williams and Javon Bullard, kind of a tough look there for Oladapo, right out of the gate. Hopefully he doesn't miss a step and can get back on his toes, no pun intended, and make this happen, man. But what do you think? How do you think about any of that we just covered there? If you want to talk safety, I think that was the majority of the nuggets there was just talking about Bullard taking some slot snaps. And then, of course, the single high looks, Evan Williams being on the field, and unfortunately Oladapo being a little banged up right now for rookie minicamp.
Yeah, that's tough, man. And, a toe injury, right? It's like, oh, it's your toe. It's like, how freaking vital that is to especially a defensive back or a receiver. It's tough. So the fact that he already had the surgery is good. He's already on, the recovery path is good, but you hit it on the head there, Clayton. He's got to keep his nose buried in that playbook, and he's got to be out there and engaged when he's at these mini camps and practices and things, because, physically he's just not going to be able to do that stuff. But it's great. And it shows why we made a commitment to that position group. We took 3 safeties in this draft, man. So, yeah. You could clearly tell right away, Goody was not messing around. We had to retool this safety room. So we have depth, it's good. A couple years ago, if we had a safety or 2 that was banged up going into the offseason program, we'd be majorly concerned. I'm not as concerned this year. We have the depth there with Xavier McKinney. We've got, I think Williams is going to prove to be a good, solid piece back there as well. There's depth. So I hope Oladapo gets back on the field sooner than later, but you never know. This could, I don't want to say help him in a sense, but some guys, when you're kind of an injury kind of steals away your rookie mini camp and, part of your reps and stuff, it may light a fire under a guy, and it may make him, take it all the more seriously when it comes to the X's and O's and grasping the defensive concepts, just simply because of the fact that you can't be out there. So you might as well give 100% to the study, so that when you do get your legs under you again, you're out there and you know what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to be. So, a lot of excitement surrounding this safety group. But I'm definitely rooting for Oladapo, man. He's got an uphill battle, but that guy's a gamer, dude. There's a reason we drafted him. So
yeah, definitely.
He bounces back.
M. Smitty in the chat said Oladapo seems like the type not to let an injury stop him from keeping involved. Completely agree, man. He seems like a dog. Jen Wright says, really like Oladapo. I hope he bounces back. I think he might be the fan favorite pick of this entire draft, man. It's awesome for sure. Let's see here. Another thing here, Nick McSwain points out, appreciate you, Nick. Good to see you in here, buddy. He says the team knew about the injury, so I don't think they would have drafted him if they thought it wouldn't be able to compete after he's better. Exactly. They're not going to draft him going, all right, he probably won't be ready for camp. I'm sure it checked all the medical clearance and everything, and it's okay. He'll be good to go for training camp. So Coach Lynn says Bullard in the slot would be awesome, not full-time. Williams looks like he can possibly play slot also. With Nixon also, I feel confident in that spot on our defense. It's one of those things, man. You just scatter shot, right, Tim? All right.
Watch Keyshawn take a step this year now. Watch him be better in the slot. A little bit of competition. He's got some young bucks behind him now.
It's going to happen, man. I'm telling you, dude. It's just that competition. It just it breeds something special in a football team, man, to bring the best out of everyone. There's no doubt about that. We'll go back to a couple earlier chats and we'll get out of here. And again, guys, go show Paul Brettel some love on Twitter at Paul_Brettel. He's the one who provided those bullet points, and he's got some awesome articles. Obviously, he writes pretty much daily, definitely weekly, most of the time daily. Just one of the classiest guys in all of sports media. Make sure we're supporting him because he definitely supports us. Doug Pointer in the chat said, I wanted a YouTube compilation of all of them, or I think he said I watched a YouTube compilation of all of Musgrave's catches and then all of Kraft's catches. Tucker Kraft's transition from catch to run was significantly quicker on a majority of his catches. I think that's a really, really accurate description there, Tim. When Tucker catches the ball, he's turning upfield quick and he's looking for a little bit of violence, man. You know, it's like he definitely gets that head around a little bit quicker. It seems like he's got a little bit better balance than Luke Musgrave as well, which is odd because Luke Musgrave is a much better route runner, you know. But
right.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to what Doug says there, man, for sure.
I feel like that's true. I mean, Kraft is the yak guy, and then you got Musgrave's the route runner. You know, hit him in stride, and you know these guys are dogs, man. The tight end room is in a good spot. We'll put it that way. And I can't wait to see. You know, there's going to be some other signings. There's going to be some other moves between now and kickoff for the season. So we'll never know who we might add also to play with these guys.
Heck yeah. CJN said also before leaving, hit that like button and share. Hey, we appreciate that, CJN. If you guys would, if you're watching on YouTube, just take a quick second, hit that like button for us. It'll boost the algorithm, help other Packer fans find the channel. But the subs are going crazy right now. The channel's growing great. We really appreciate everybody's support. And if you like this kind of content, we're going to be here on a daily basis, taking you all the way through mini camps, training camp, preseason, through the regular season. We do post-game shows. We cover it all here, and we do our Chalk Talk segments where we kind of break down the tape as well. It's going to be a lot of fun this year, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So we appreciate if y'all hit like, sub, and all that good stuff. And again, if you don't like this, you're sitting here going, man, I wish I'd have changed it sooner. Just pretend like this didn't happen. We didn't even cross paths. All right, we're good. It's all good. So appreciate you, CJN. Thank you for the support, man. All right, so let's see what else we got here. There was one other thing I wanted to hit on. Do You Rant said, according to Easton Butler, who spoke with Oladapo yesterday, Oladapo, who had his hair dyed orange last year at Oregon State, Home Depot colors, by the way, said he will dye it yellow at some point. So we're going to get the yellow hair from Mr. Oladapo. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be awesome. So
I love it, man. He's a Packer, man, through and through, for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, he'll have time to get it, hooked up. He's got, got the boot on. He's going to elevate the leg a little bit, get some ice on that toe. Plenty time to get the hair hooked up, man. Absolutely.
If some people were tuning in for the first time going, why is the Home Depot music playing? just something that kind of came about during the draft process. We were trying to figure out how to say Oladapo's name. I say Oladapo. Tim says Oladapo. I've heard some people say Oladapo.
That's definitely not
right. We try to cover all the bases. So one day I just called him Ola Home Depot, and it stuck. And now we've got Home Depot ads running on the show, which is absolutely awesome. Watching the Facebook group, Packernet Facebook group, get so excited that they heard a Home Depot ad on the show was just hilarious.
You should have seen me yesterday, man. I was out on the driveway doing some work, and I was doing like a touchdown dance celebration. My wife was looking at me like I was crazy.
I love it, man. All right, let's get out of here, Tim. You got anything else, bub?
Yeah, excited, fired up.
Let's go.
2024. This is our year. Lombardi's coming home. I'm saying it now. Stamp it, book it. Let's go.
Turning warmer. Tim, we're hitting 80 degrees down here. The pool's open. I got to get out there and do some yard work. That's the bad part. But it's a beautiful time of the year, man. There's no doubt about it, dude. Pretty soon, A.J. Dillon going to be out there too, I'm sure.
John Deere green on a hot summer night. He rode Billy Bob the Charlene.
Well, it never
He'll be out there for real, not in the game. He'll be out there for real, riding the tractor on the property. I love it.
Right. I'm telling you, man, when Emilio can hop on, we usually got about 5 or 10 minutes before we go live. He always plays the music. He's got some music cranking in here. My favorite one night, I had everything set up. I ran downstairs to grab a drink, came back up, and as I get halfway up the steps, I hear I'm going to take her for a ride on my big green tractor, blasting through my speakers. I'm like, well, what the hell is going on up here? It was Emilio jamming out
in the zone.
CJN in the chat said, yeah, when I came to this channel till now, the growth is crazy. Very happy for y'all. Even if you forgot my name, do the name change, LOL. Mornings and coffee just hit different with Good Morning Lambeau. Good Morning Lambeau is my favorite show. I love PTA at night. I really do. It's kind of the flagship show, but there's nothing like rolling out of bed, brushing your teeth, you know what I mean? Washing the face a little bit, getting woke up, grab you a cup of coffee and just talk a little football, man. I know I'm more of a morning person than you, Tim, but I love it, man. Mornings is when I get my best work done, man. It's the later we get in the day, the more pissed off and depressed I get, and I'm just like, I'm ready to go to bed. So the mornings are awesome, man.
I'm slowly coming around, man. I'm getting into this morning thing a little bit. So
Jen Wright says you all keep me entertained at work. So good job there. Appreciate you, Coach Land. Thank you for the support, pal. All right, we're out of here. We will see y'all tonight for PTA Live. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about. We still got several things we didn't get to. We're going to talk some NFL contract candidates that Spotrac put an article out on. We'll hit on that tonight and just kind of talk about where the market's at for quarterbacks and wide receivers. Got a couple of division rivals that's going to be affecting here real soon. We talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown getting the bag. That's going to kind of hinder Detroit a little bit in the near future. We got that coming up for the Minnesota Vikings as well here, potentially with JJ, Justin Jefferson. Not saying they're not worth the money, just simply saying there are pros and cons to signing those great players or those big contracts, right? Yes, you've got the player, which is what every NFL team wants, but you also got to navigate that salary cap, and it's going to kind of limit you on your roster building and other aspects. Unless you want to kick the can way down the road, go all in right now, then you're going to be paying the piper here in 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, with that being said, words of advice
on the pod.
Thank you for making us a part of your day. Devontae Adams has got some words for y'all, too.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
All right, y'all have a great day. We'll see you tonight. Like I said, for those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack Go.